Hi there, my name is Harjinder Kler and I have the good fortune of working for a conservation NGO based in Sabah. We're called HUTAN, Kinabatangan Orangutan Conservation Program, and our focus is on orangutans, of course, for this talk on World Orangutan Day. A little bit about the NGO. We were established in '96 in France by Dr. Marc Acrenaz and Dr. Isabelle Lachman, and we are basically based in Kinabatangan, which is on the east coast of Sabah, in our largest river basin, the mighty river of the Kinabatangan. And it is very much a local NGO in the sense that everyone who works for HUTAN is from Sabah. And we have about 40 full-time staff, all from the Kinabatangan area. And when we started in '98, we started with our focus just on orangutans and research to find out whether orangutans were thriving in secondary forest and learning more about orangutans. But since then, the program has grown to encompass many other things, and the most important aspect of this is local community. So we're very much a local community-based research organization. And all my colleagues are from the Kinabatangan, except for myself, who is based in the capital of Sabah, Kota Kinabalu, and another colleague as well who does the administration. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about orangutans and the issues with orangutans in Sabah and also worldwide. So let me start with Sabah. Today we know we have, from our statewide surveys that began in 2002 and ended with a publication of a paper that was produced in PLUS, and it shows where our orangutans are in Sabah and the status there. So we know we have 11,000 orangutans, and we know that the populations vary in sizes in different areas, and we know places with orangutan populations are most at risk because, as you know, Sabah is a state that relies on its natural resources for development, for economic needs, and we have to balance this out because Sabah is also the #1 producer of Malaysian palm oil, and this is a good thing for our economy. But we are also the stronghold of the Malaysian orangutan population. 80% of Malaysian orangutans are found in Sabah, and this makes us very fortunate, and this also makes us have a responsibility to ensure that their future is secured. So now, let's talk a little bit about the orangutan situation worldwide. Orangutans are found on two islands, two species, the Abilene and Sumatra, and the orangutans on Borneo, which is then divided into 3 subspecies, and in Sabah we have 1. And our orangutans in Sabah, they seem fortunate enough to be able to adapt to secondary forest, and most of our orangutans used to live in, well, actually still do live in secondary forest. Currently 64% of our orangutans live in totally protected areas, and this is good news because when we started our research, the percentage of orangutans living in totally protected area was about 40%. So this shows a positive impact from government policies to help with orangutan conservation and also for other wildlife. We tend to speak, of course, a lot about orangutans because they're a key species, but whatever land and habitat is conserved for orangutans also has an effect on all other wildlife. In Sabah, we're very fortunate because we have a lot of wildlife still, and whatever protection and efforts we do for orangutans, they always have an effect on other key species of Sabah as well. So we're talking about areas that are protected for orangutans also benefit other species such as the clouded leopard, other species such as the sun bears, elephants, and elephants are also, we're very lucky in Sabah because we have the Borneo elephant, which is commonly known as the Borneo pygmy elephant, and it's only found in Sabah, and it crosses the border a little bit to Indonesia, Kalimantan. So they're also very fortunate to have this unique endemic species that's only found on Borneo. And so it's important that we all work together to ensure that this unique wildlife that we have here in Sabah survives in the long term. Okay, so going back to the current status of orangutans in Sabah. The biggest threat for orangutan in Sabah today is isolation and fragmentation. And these are caused by, well, us humans as we rush to develop our lands for economic benefits. And there's nothing wrong with that because we need money to, succeed and live. And I think it's only fair that everyone has an opportunity to do that. But we also need to balance this out. And our biggest issue is when lands that are already fragmented are further converted, even in small patches, to palm oil. I mean, mostly it's palm oil. This is what Sabah is known for. Sabah is currently the #1 producer of Malaysian palm oil, with 30% of palm oil coming out of the state of Sabah. And we have the biggest issues for wildlife when it comes to oil palm. And this is where we really need more assistance from oil palm companies to be more proactive and to be more considerate for wildlife needs when they convert land, because animals were there first and they didn't know that their land was going to change, and they still need to get around it to get to maybe another protected area or another forested area. And this is why we need things like corridors or patches of forest that wildlife can move from one to another, and it's still doable. We just need a little bit more effort on both sides. Speaking about oil palm, Hutan also has recently joined the Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil, known as RSPO. And RSPO's main aim is to produce sustainably produced palm oil that does not harm local communities, does not harm wildlife, and does not harm nature, because RSPO addresses things from how you clear the land to how you discharge your pollution. Well, your effluent from your, say, for example, your palm oil mills. And while RSPO is not yet a perfect system, there's still many issues with it. We believe that now is the time to engage, to make it stronger and better, to make it more effective and efficient, to help wildlife and also people and also nature in general. Because as we know, humans are the biggest users of everything. I mean, we're the biggest consumers, and we need to balance this out. And once we have something like, say, for example, RSPO, and it's put on the market, it's again us humans who make the choice with our money whether or not we're going to pay more for sustainably produced palm oil, or we're just going to stick to the same old stuff we always do, which in that case, it doesn't help. So if you want to help, sometimes it means as well reaching out of your pocket and taking out money to pay extra for sustainably produced palm oil products. And once again, RSPO is by no means perfected yet, but it is definitely on the right track. Our best option at the moment to address issues that surround oil palm and wildlife, and also, once again, local community and people. Because of course, palm oil industry also employs a massive amount of human workforce, and we also have to make sure that these workers are also treated well. And one thing we find when we go out to plantations in the course of our work is that plantations that have signed up for RSPO and are in the process of certification, because you can be a member and not yet go into certification, so it's different. You also have to check if the producer is a member and going through certification. One thing we find is that they tend to treat their workers better as well, and that's something that's great. So Sabah, as I mentioned, is a stronghold of the orangutan population. We have about 11,000 orangutans in Sabah. Sarawak, according to the Sarawak state government, has about 2,000. The estimated numbers for orangutan population in Sumatra is about 7,000, and the rest of it, which would be about 40,000, is in Kalimantan, Indonesia. So the most amount of orangutans today live in Indonesia. For Malaysia, Sabah is the stronghold. And it's kind of hard to imagine sometimes that what these two countries do, Malaysia and Indonesia, has the biggest effect on orangutan, because we are the home of the orangutan. Malaysia and Indonesia are also the biggest producers of palm oil. Indonesia is the #1 producer, followed by Malaysia. And companies from these countries are they have the most effect and ability and power to help the situation, really. And we think that companies that have joined RSPO are on the right track. We think that if they're doing certification, that's even better. I mean, we strongly encourage palm oil producers in Malaysia and Indonesia to be part of the RSPO and follow the principles and criteria, which once again are not perfect, but they're on the right track. And we need to help to improve it. Okay, this is a picture of orangutans taken in our study site. This is Juliana, and this is her daughter Felicity. So orangutans like this are the ones that we spend a lot of time studying, and we follow them from morning till they nest again in the evenings. And so we know a lot about them and their social structure. But one thing that we definitely all see and all know and all feel is how much we are all so similar. We see how the mothers take care of their babies and how the babies play with other orangutan babies, and we love them all. And so this is why we all have to support World Orangutan Day. Thank you. We at Hutan, we support World Orangutan Day, and we hope you do too. Thank you.